The fight for Gracie's law. The parents of 23-year-old Gracie Spinks, who was killed by an ex-colleague, are campaigning for tougher action to tackle stalking.
Good morning. You'll soon be able to book black cabs like these in London through Uber. But I'll be finding out why there's an angry backlash from some drivers who say they want nothing to do with the app.
A new book about Harry and Meghan has been pulled from Dutch shelves following reports it's named the royal who allegedly questioned the skin colour of their son. For peace of mind, words from the convicted killer of Muriel Mackay, who revealed the location of her remains after refusing a $50,000 reward.
A court has been hearing how a plan to kill transgender teenager Brianna Jai was found in the bedroom of one of the 16-year-olds accused of her murder. A girl and boy who can't be named because of their age are alleged to have murdered Brianna, stabbing her to death in a park earlier this year. The former boss of Wilko has said she's devastated to have let down staff, suppliers and customers when the retailer collapsed earlier this year. Lisa Wilkinson, who is the granddaughter of Wilko's founder, has given evidence to MPs about the difficulties faced by the chain. An inquiry has found that a maintenance worker who sexually abused dead bodies in NHS mortuaries was able to do so because of, quote, serious failings at the hospitals where he worked. David Fuller abused the bodies of at least 101 women and girls over a period of 15 years.
For now, we're about to enter a world of pure imagination. Yes, have a look at this. Is it making you feel a bit peckish? It's filled with all the chocolate and sweets you could want, but it might not be quite as you remember.
Yeah, we all remember the classic, don't we? But this new film, this new version, focuses on the origin story of young Willy Wonka with Timothée Chalamet in the starring role alongside Matt Lucas, Olivia Colman, and a very memorable role for Hugh Grant.
He always has memorable roles. Remember him in Paddington 2?
Yes.
Yeah, he does memorable well. Well, Wonka had its UK premiere last night.
The Met is appealing to Londoners to be vigilant over Christmas. Calls to its anti-terror hotline have doubled since the attacks by Hamas on Israel on the 7th of October. The force says there's no evidence of a specific threat, but they're working in a heightened state of readiness. A paramedic is calling for abuse against staff to stop after they were pushed out of an ambulance. London Ambulance Service released footage of the incident, which happened outside the Chelsea and Westminster Hospital earlier this year. The patient was arrested at the scene and later convicted. Uber is opening up its app to black cab drivers in the new year in what it has dubbed a partnership with Hackney carriage drivers. The company says a small number have already signed up and hopes to recruit several hundred by January. But the Licensed Taxi Drivers Association, which represents more than 10,000 members, said it was not consulted and joining would be sullying the trade.
And let's have a look at the Wednesday morning newspapers, shall we? The Mirror leading today on the publication of that controversial book, Endgame, about the royal family. The paper reporting that the Dutch version has been pulled from sale overnight because it apparently accidentally reveals a royal family member who allegedly asked questions about the skin colour of Prince Harry and Meghan's baby.
Yes, we were mentioning that earlier, weren't we? And meanwhile, the Express focuses on other claims in the book and says the King and Prince William are united against the mischief-making smears.
Interesting story in the Times this morning, a health story, which says that we shouldn't be worrying so much about steps. We shouldn't worry too much about how far we walk or run every day. It's all about pace. It's about walking briskly. 2.5 miles an hour at a rate of that can apparently help reduce the risk of developing diabetes.
Oh, well, that's good news. 2.5 miles an hour for about 2 steps.
It's good news if your dog isn't as slow as my dog. It's like 10 miles an hour.
Oh, poor dog. Don't name and shame him on air. And The Telegraph features this story. I don't know if you can see it. There you go, on its front page. It's about the British Medical Journal saying patients are being put at risk by GP appointments being done online and over the phone, as I mentioned earlier as well. That story there in The Telegraph.
Front pages for you, and the lead story in the Times: pressure on the Prime Minister to close an immigration route that allows foreigners to be hired to fill workforce gaps. On the front page of the Eye, there you go, the Immigration Minister Robert Jenrick goes rogue with a dig at number 10. The Sun has an exclusive interview with the father of Emily Han, the Irish-Israeli schoolgirl who was among 17 hostages freed by Hamas in return for dozens of Palestinian prisoners held by Israel. GP appointments online or over the phone are putting patients at risk. That's according to the findings of a study by the British Medical Journal published in The Telegraph. The Metro reports on the new book about the royal family and how it's been pulled from circulation in the Netherlands after a translation error fell foul of UK libel laws by naming a family member alleged to have made racist remarks about Harry and Meghan's son, Archie. The Daily Mirror's headline on that story, new Harry and Meghan row, book names royal racist, and the Daily Express pours cold water on rumours of a royal rift between the King and Prince William, citing royal sources. And the Daily Mail's coverage says thousands of copies of the book Endgame face being pulled. And according to the Financial Times International edition, Barclays is considering plans to drop thousands of clients from its investment arm in an effort to raise capital and cut costs. And of course, if you want to see any of those front pages or read the stories, scan the QR code on the screen.